I already know some of y'all ain't gonna like this video, but I feel like it's necessary to talk about it. A lot of people, a lot of parents that have had children, a lot of parents that have had children, man, really resent their own kids. They really do. And the reason why they resent their kids is because their kids probably didn't come out physically how they want their kids to come out. And this is something that I really had to think on because you're always going to love your kids. I don't have kids myself, but I know if I did have a child of my own, I would love my kid unconditionally. But I know when two people come together and they are quote unquote in love or, in lust, that's what I like to call it really. That's really what it be. You in lust, not love. But when two people come together, man and a woman, there's initial attraction there. You like how she look, she like how you look, and in the back of y'all head, y'all are imagining how y'all's kids would look, how they would act, how they would be. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be more like you or her, or they're gonna look more like him or her. And two people come together, and that is the primal motivation to being together, is procreating. So when two people come together and they lay down and they make that baby, and the baby is developing and it's in the womb, and they're awaiting the arrival of the baby, they're thinking of baby names, they're wondering what the kid is going to come out looking like, what the kid is going to be as a, their personality type, are they going to play sports? Or are they going to go to college? You have all these preset, expectations for this child coming into this world. And when that baby is finally born, it's always a beautiful baby, right? I mean, it's a newborn baby. It's not going to look like really anything, it's just I think all babies when they come out look damn near all alike. They usually are bald and crying and shit. I mean, it's a baby. You know what I'm saying? It's rarely that you can call a baby ugly, right? I mean, I think all babies that are born are pretty beautiful in the aspect of them being just a new human, right? So you can't gauge what your kid look like just off of the first time, what I'm saying, looking at your child, what I'm saying, being born. But I think as like the years progress and you see your child develop and you see your child growing up, you start to look at your child and you start to ask yourself, are they matching up to the standards that I thought they were going to match up to? And I kind of feel like this is kind of like maybe me looking into my childhood a little bit. And observing my friends and how their parents were with certain siblings, like, one parent may favor one child more than the other. And I have a brother, you know what I'm saying? And it was always equal love around, in my household. It was never favorites in my household. But even if that is true and even if that is real and genuine, you can just feel it when like your parent, like just wishes you were better, like they wish you were better. And I know like a lot of us know what I'm saying. It's like they love you unconditionally because you're their child, but you can just tell like whether you play sports and let's say your dad was good at basketball growing up and you end up playing basketball, but your dad used to have a jump shot. He was really good at shooting and you trash. You know what I'm saying? You're not fast, you're not athletic. You're terrible at basketball, but your dad was really great at basketball. So it's like your father, in a way, it's like he's disappointed in you on a genetic level. Like you didn't get those genes to be great at basketball. He wanted you to be like him in a way. He wanted you to carry his legacy of being a basketball player or something. And you just didn't really get that You didn't get that talent or skill. You're the exact opposite of your father. It's like a mother having a daughter. Growing up, the mother was beautiful and really good in academics, and the daughter's dumb as a box of rocks, and she's kind of mid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you love your child regardless, but you just kind of wish they were at least to your standard growing up. I'm assuming most parents want their kids to be better than them, but I'm pretty sure at least be like what I was when I was around your age. You know, it's like it's one of those things that's kind of touchy to top, to touch on, because I don't think parents don't love their kids if they aren't what they expected them to be like. But I do feel like a lot of parents treat their kids differently when their children don't come out a certain kind of way, whether it's their aesthetic that they're not really agreeing with. They wish they may have came out better looking, maybe taller, maybe had better hair, whatever it is that they thought their child would have, because they came out of them, the people that created them. They thought they was going to pass that trait to their child, and whatever happened in that gene pool, they did not get that shit. They got the bald fade. So she didn't have good hair coming out. She had just strands of just naps. She didn't have that curly, luscious hair like her mama. And the mama may be like resenting her in a way like, I wish you had good hair like me. I wish I was able to braid my daughter hair, but your ass is bald with fucking nap beads and shit. I can't braid that shit. Like, it's just little things. I think parents love their children unconditionally. Well, good parents do. I'm not gonna say all do, because there's some fucking terrible parents out there. But the good parents out there love their kids unconditionally. But in the back of their head, I promise you, even with my parents, I'm pretty sure there are certain things about me that they wish they could probably change if they could. Right? And, again, it's one of those things where you wonder why you get treated differently, maybe by one parent. Or you may wonder why your parent leans more towards the other sibling than you, or favor them more. And it could be something superficial, like they just look better than you. They may just look more like what they wish their children like wanted to look like or be like or act like, and you don't have any of those characteristics. So deep down, they resent you. They look at you like a failed offspring. They look at you like a failed offspring, pretty much. And the other sibling is more of a success genetically. You know, that's sometimes the reason why some parents may be harder on one child and more lenient to the other child. It's a lot of different aspects to it. I'm not saying it's just that in particular, but I'm telling you, there's some truth in that. I'm telling you, man, because I've had friends where it's two brothers, and the mom and dad, for whatever reason, favor the youngest one. And you may say because he's the baby, but I'm looking at them both, and they look different. The oldest one don't look as, he don't look as clean as the youngest one. The youngest one is more of the Tyrone-esque looking dude. You know what I'm saying? You can tell he ain't got no problems getting females or whatever. He's a generally attractive dude. And the older brother, he fat and kind of average looking, mid, kind of stink a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So you look at them both like, how the fuck did y'all come out of these two? You know what I'm saying? But I can see how the parents treat them. And it's like, you can tell the parents favor the youngest one. They are more lenient with him. They're more giving to him, more understanding with him. While the oldest brother that don't look like his brother, he gets kind of treated like he's always fucking shit up. You know what I'm saying? He gets no leeway. This nigga is just like a problem. And it's like, when you think about it, it gotta be to the fact of they look at the youngest as a genetic success. He has all the attributes that they wanted their child to have, while the oldest one didn't get none of those. So it's one of those things to think about. It's nothing overly deep. I'm pretty sure your parents love you unconditionally, regardless of how you look. And so do mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this is going to change my view of how I look at my parents, but I think a lot of us know deep down inside is always a superficial reason on why certain people get treated how they get treated, even if it's your own parents. Even in your own family. We know the aesthetics of a person is sadly the most important thing in this world. Your personality, whatever you want to add to that, matters secondary. But your looks and how you appear to people And even in your own family, your own parents, it matters. It's sadly the truth, but it matters. But it's something to think about. Maybe I'm overlooking it, man. You know what I'm saying? If I'm wrong, you let me know if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tripping. But I just thought about it like I've seen a lot of situations like this with friends. I feel like I've experienced it a little bit with my sibling a little bit, but it's such a hairline of you can barely notice it, but it's like you feel it. It's something there that of course they'll never probably speak on, but you can tell maybe there's some resentment of maybe how you came out. They didn't like it. They wasn't really agreeing with it all the way, but they grew to love you because you're their child. But hey, man, it's food for thought, man. Maybe something to think about. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tripping, man. But on that note, man, I'm gone, man. Peace.